Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. Just wanted to see if there was any interest in any of you guys trying to see if there's a good possibility of making good money in this. And obviously, um, no, you don't need a credit card username and login. So here's a funny thing. Unlike Tai Lopez, I'm just gonna get straight to the point. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing to sell here. I'm not having you sign up for anything. I don't need your logins, um, or your credit cards, or have you go to a website or any of that. So let's just get straight to it. So the goal here is to make more passive income generating leads. All right. So excuse some background noise. I'm sitting here in my living room. I've got my kid running around, but I didn't want to wait to do it in my office, so I figured I'd just do it now. All right, so where do I get started? First thing is first. All right, so what is lead generation? So let's first clarify that and make sure we understand from my perspective on what I'm trying to do here. So I'm not actually the guy that's collecting the leads. Now you could be. Let's just say you have a business and you just want to collect leads and you want to utilize this method. Then yeah, that works as well. But what I'm doing is simply um, a middleman for a bunch of companies and providing them uh, business by finding them leads, and then the clients end up, making a transaction with the company, and I get a residual out of it, um, or sorry, compensation out of it. Residual would be obviously if the customer keeps coming back, which is part of the agreement as well. So we'll get to all that later on, but first, the key point here to understand is your goal is here to make passive income by simply being a middleman for a variety of companies. So it could be, you know, um, for a law firm, for a dentist, for any business you could think of, a consulting firm, a design company, a movie studio, construction company, rental company. The list goes on. I mean, the list is crazy, actually. Even for the housing market, one of the craziest ones I've done is through a steel company that manufactures uh, uh, huge, I guess you could say, they've made buildings and things of that nature. Uh, and one of the deals they had was they were selling to some sort of bridge. So let me see how this. All right, so I'm kind of new with this, and so I think the first part of the clip just cut off. I'm just going to continue. So, what is lead generation? And you know, from my perspective, I just want to make sure you understand what I'm trying to do here. So, many of you might be thinking, okay, I have a business, I just want to get more leads. This would work for you as well. However, what I figured out is a way to make passive income and a ton of it through simply being a middleman for a ton of other companies out there who just don't know how to get leads. So I'll give you some examples, and I would really suggest you take some notes here. So this way, you kind of brainstorm later on and see what makes best sense for you. So you could do this and I'm currently doing this for law firms. I'm doing this for doctors, dentists. I'm doing them for construction companies, rental companies, even people selling properties as well. So the good thing is with this, it's infinite. I've done it for AC companies as well, heating and AC, plumbing, um, urgent locksmith as well. I'm testing that one right now as we speak. And the biggest one that I've landed so far was It had to do with the steel industry, and some company was looking for actual steel for a bridge, and I ended up making around $150,000 in just a commission cut for generating a lead off of that. And so I want to show you guys some simple tricks on how this works. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and that's the entire point of this. So you could literally watch this video and understand that you can copy exactly what I'm about to show you for yourself or for anyone else around you, or for a family friend, anyone that has any business. Everyone has to have some sort of sales. They all need customers, and so this is what you're doing. You're that middle man in the middle, trying to grab that customer and give them towards to that business, who then ends up closing the deal, and whatever the amount is closed for is where then you get some sort of compensation. um, Usually I stick with 15%, but it depends on the business as well, so we'll get over that. um, we'll go over that later on, but so I just wanted to clarify, what is it, and what kind of lead generation are we talking about here? Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, I have a cousin of mine. So he is in the construction business. He's based out of Europe, in England, and he's just a hardworking guy, And in 2 weeks, I've changed his world around, literally. He's gotten more business in 2 weeks than or actually, let's just say, he generated more sales in 2 weeks than he has in pretty much almost, from what he told me, 7 to 8 months. So it's almost, quite a bit, almost over half a year. And I'm just talking 2 weeks. And my ads aren't even like, we're in the testing phase right now. We haven't even reached to the point where the ads are actually doing well. And, and I'll explain all that too. So you'll see how that works. Some of you might be experienced in some of this stuff, and some of you aren't. But I'm just going to go as if you're completely clueless how to use other people's skills, and where to hire them for any assistance that you may need. So let's just get straight to it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open up another window here. Let me just minimize this light thing. All right. So here's a website that I had created for my cousin. It was a template that we just purchased, and I had him. I hired one of those website guys through Guru.com or Upwork.com. I actually have a few that I already use, so I just stick with them, and they'll do a decent job and just create whatever you need. Here's a sample of, if you just Google, let me switch the page right here, so you can find a ton of. So I just typed in construction responsive templates. You want to say responsive because that means then it works for websites on your phone. It's phone friendly. It's also tablet friendly and computer friendly. So let's just say you found this website here. You could download it, and some companies charge you anywhere from $50 to $20 to $100. And then you own that template, and you can do whatever you want with it. So you could do that for pretty much any industry. All right, so that's easy to do. And you could integrate some features on the website that will make it look more legit, like your logo, things about you, real reviews, pictures, whatever looks real and helps out will be beneficial for you. So, like this site here looks really nice, So let's switch. So yeah, the site was designed very simple, basic words. People click on bathroom, kitchen, loft. We had real testimonials and phone number information, the map, contact us page. Again, very simple website. A nice little logo, so it looks professional. So yeah, once you have this website created, all right, what you want to do is, um, well, let me just make sure I don't forget what I had just posted. I like Google Keep. It's a good way to keep notes. Um, I think I mixed this up. So the important thing is on the website, you want to make sure you have a keep it simple theme, phone number, email, your address for whatever business that you're promoting. So it all looks legit, and I'll get to a point now where how we track it and make money off of them very shortly. But first, we want to make sure the website's up and running. So that's step number one. You don't want to focus on a company that's already good with rankings on Google and they know what they're doing. Then they're already generating leads, and you might not be the answer for them. What you want to do is find the right person that's skilled in whatever industry that they're in, but they just lack the knowledge of the internet, and that's where you come in. All right. So, um, uh, now what you need to do now is figure out what industry you want to focus on. Let's just say you have a friend that's maybe a lawyer or a doctor, has a family practice, or the list goes on. I mean, you could literally think of a million things. Somebody that's a consultant, um, maybe a real estate agent who's looking for people that are interested in buying properties or houses, investors, franchisees, franchisers. There's so many opportunities, it's crazy. So I ran into this before on accident when I was doing franchising for my cell phone doors. So many of you don't know, I've made posts before. I have a ton of retail stores in the wireless business, over 200 plus nationwide, and I have websites online, and I'm tapped into a lot of different things, and I also have other franchises and the restaurant business as well, and car business as well, and some other things that I'm working on as well. But this one here really took off that I never imagined, and has been making me, passive income without doing anything. It's just I've got a two-man team that just literally watches over this, and I pay them around $1,000 a week just for working from their homes and overlooking this. So I make sure that I get paid for my leads, and I'll explain to you how that works as well. But so your goal right now is to first find that one business that you can focus on, and it's very simple. A lot of people say, "Well, what if I don't have anyone?" Or so. Just for example, Google AC heating company around you. Okay, if they come up on Google, avoid them. Find the ones that are on Yellow Pages or maybe on Yelp, and they have no internet or presence. Those are the ones you want to target. Those guys they're completely missing out on the power of the internet. They have no clue that Google exists and that you could display their business in front of a million people when they type in whatever keyword that you're wanting them to look for. So once you find someone, um, you say, "Hey, let's go. Let me take you out for a cup of coffee." Michael Bloomberg used to do this a lot. He would literally get 2 cups of coffee and find somebody that he could just sit down with him. I mean, who says no to a coffee, or maybe a bottle of water these days is better too. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. Um, so yeah, once you have that set, you know, let's make sure now they have a website. So for the website that I showed you, I think I bought that for under $200. I had it completely fixed up with the way I wanted, for I think another few $100 off of Upwork.com. I have existing guys that have been doing work for me for some time, and they just do whatever. You want to make sure they have a good review, good reviews, and communication is key, obviously. And that's that. Now, here comes the most important part, and that's called Google AdWords. All right. So first, I want to just get straight to the point and show you guys on how much or how many leads have come in, so I could just give you one example here. All right. Hello, I'm looking to have a loft conversion done. Please, it would give me a time extension. I'm hoping to get a separate small bathroom, probably lower shower than bathtub, one bedroom. The house is semi-detached, and the other half of the semi has had a conversion, so to the mirror style. So this person here, Ann Harper, is looking to do a loft conversion. All right, this was submitted 12 hours ago. All right, it came through the form online, through the contact us page, and so far my cousin has been closing literally 1 out of 3 or 4 uh, leads that have been generated. A month to date, we're at around almost 130 grand that he has, 130,000 pounds that he has actually generated in sales. So you could do the math and see that I think 130,000, and I'm charging 15% for each lead. So that is roughly around $20,000. Which is actually going to be more in pounds. I'm assuming probably 25 grand, right around that number. And that's just with, you know, uh, since May 8th, literally. Um, and that's the funny thing. People are submitting. Look at that. These are like real, uh, you know, walls and whatnot, and this is what just amazes me, that this actually can work and make you so much money. So now let me get straight to the AdWords part. Okay, AdWords. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and log into AdWords. So the first step is find a business. Second step is we need to have a website for that business. And third step is set up Google AdWords. Now I really suggest you spend time learning Google AdWords. I've spent, I think, over 2 or 3 months going over it. I love studying myself. I just love self-education. I think it's very important. I do have an AdWords expert as well that overlooks everything, because it's good to know yourself, but it's also good to know um, what how to run the campaign yourself if you need to. So I'll give you an example. Right now we only have a $35 a day budget. We spent $755 so far, and we've had over 275 clicks. Impressions have been over around 3,500, meaning that's how many times people saw the ad, but they didn't click on it. They only clicked it this many times. Average position is the second spot on the ads. So each conversion is costing me around $27. That's not bad for the return on investment that I made already from him and the money that he's made. This is peanuts. So, but there's a reason why I have it at such a low amount. Where the problem is he could barely handle this. He's getting so many calls and emails every day. Some days he'll get 1 email, some days he'll get 5 emails. It depends, and then he gets a bunch of calls. So here's how the ads are set up. Okay, he's in England, in London, so you could see builders in East London and this and that, and you could see here on this side where how many clicks came through for which ad. Alright, and here you can see which ones converted. And that actually tells you. So this is a very strong platform. Keywords. Keywords are things that people type in to Google, which then shows you the ad. So you could see that these are, I had somebody from actually in London use and set this up because in America we use the word drywall, and I found out over there they use plastering or plasters. Builders is more popular. Over here we do use probably construction guys or construction company or something, So, but you get the point. And then you could definitely watch whichever campaign you set up. You could see, how many clicks they're getting. Okay, how much each click costs. Okay, the click-through rate as well. So, for instance, here the click-through rate is 30.61%. Okay, that's pretty high. So is this one, 45.83%. The pluses here and the little, I don't know what you call these things, the closing gap thingies. I don't know what that is. Parentheses type looking. If those are exact key phrases, so that means somebody has to type in just that to be able to see the ad. Plus means it's a broad search. You could Google this stuff and you'll see. Again, you watch a ton of videos and you'll learn. We have ad extensions as well. I believe we did audiences. Let me see. I'm going to get down to settings, ad groups, dimensions. Oh, here you could see on a daily basis how many clicks are coming through. That's how many leads he's generating, and you could imagine the calls that he's coming through, and how much money he's making. So here's an overview of everything. So since May 1st to May 26th, he's at 275 interactions. Average cost per customer, average cost per click has been, excuse me, $2.75, meaning each time a customer clicks on it, that's how much Google charges you. The good thing is, if they don't click on it, you don't get charged anything. Each conversion is costing them $27, meaning it takes them around 15, 20 clicks to get to this number, and that's how much per customer, or his acquisition cost per customer is. And that's the only amount we put in so far. I mean, I have right now, we're doing ads in some places, we're doing $1,000 a day, and the problem with him is he can't handle it. So he's a one-man show with, a bunch of workers so I told him, listen, you could take it to a whole nother level. You could hire staff and get more employees on board, or maybe, a secretary who could answer calls and knows how to handle customer calls and then link you to them. So good quality but low traffic keywords. This Google kind of breaks down to you an overview on this page, so you can kind of see what's going on. There's an opportunity page, which is very good as well. Just to give you an example, let's just see. 46 more clicks when you raise your daily budget for one campaign. Just look at that. And he could barely handle what I'm giving him right now. So, I'm losing a lot of money there for sure. If I was to just find a bunch of other builders out in that area, and I don't want to do that because there's so much to do right here in the States. I'm not worried about him, but that's the first time I tapped into the construction industry, and I think there's a lot of money to be made here in the States. There's so many cities, so many states here, so much work to be done. It's insane. So now what I want to show you guys is something called Google Analytics, which I think is very important for you to see. There it is. All right, so you've chosen your business, you've gotten a website to, generate leads. Now, it doesn't have to be a website that's just for them. You could make your own, or you could make a template uh, with just one page. One of those lead. There's a few pages out there that are good for conversions. Some companies out there that do this, but I personally never had a good thing with them. I just never. I like to make my own. I think it just works out better. And so, um, with this, you could monitor, how much traffic you have live, right now. So we had one about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, where the sources are, where they're coming from. Um, Overview. This gives you the audience overview. What kind of operating system they're using, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. I mean, this thing is so detailed. Here's conversions. So you can actually see how many times within the X amount of time somebody clicked on the thank you page or clicked on the submission page and gave us the thank you goal, and you could track that. Okay. Um, you could see the flow of what they clicked on, and then they submitted the form. Their behavior. What are they doing when they get on the site? You could see when they land on the home page, many of them go straight to contact us. Because the numbers here, page views, tell you how many people are clicking on that, and so that just gives you an idea. There's a lot to do here and study to kind of give you an understanding of how this works. Now, once the customer lands on, your page, um, you can then track them in multiple ways. So how do you then start charging your, the business you're helping out? How do you start charging them money? So it goes by every call that comes through that they close, or every email that comes through that they close, and that's something you're just going to have to figure out with them. So there's not really any way for you to know if they close the deal or not, but you'll know quickly if someone's playing around with you or they're wasting your time. Um, I haven't been on this for a while. But acquisition, all traffic, the source. So this shows you could see that people came directly from Google using pay-per-click. Organic was 3, and then there's some website that referred them. So this kind of shows you where they're coming from, and it's a good summary to have. You could go, we're looking at, let's do like 30 days. All right. Even referrals, if say somebody came from another website like this one, or eventually you want to track it down by campaigns, because that's the key. You look at your AdWords and you could see everything that you've been doing, how the clicks are coming through over here, what's costing you more, which one isn't, what hour of the day is busy, which one isn't, uh, site links. I forget there's a part for you to see how many calls came through as well. There's an extension where people click just the phone number and it goes straight, so that counts as a click, and then you could track to see how many calls came through. Even though some people just might go on the website and call, the majority of the people do it that way. They go on the website and then they just call through the website, and you won't know about it. So sometimes some people just type it in or they copy paste it, even though it's clickable on the website. Some people just copy paste it. I've actually studied behaviors on this and done a lot of testing with this stuff, and it's uh, strange how people you know uh, use websites. So yeah, once you have a lead generated, Now I think you understand how this sort of comes and works through. Uh, just close this. So yeah, I think I wrapped it up. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think if you have any questions or need to understand what I did here, or if I wasn't clear enough, leave the questions in the comments below, and I'll answer whatever I can. And so, um, what I did want to ask from you guys is some help. So I wanted to uh, this fidget thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of this fidget spinning thingies. My kid has one, and I bought a few of them as well, and they've just taken over. Every retailer in the world is selling one right now. So I was thinking about doing something viral, and I'm not sure if it would work or not. I figured I could order maybe 5,000 of these, okay, from China, and uh, it costs like I think $1 something, and maybe have like some sort of event at the Philadelphia Love Park in Center City. If you're aware of where that is, it's just your major, city in the town, and I wanted to see if perhaps we could just put out some Facebook feeds and say, hey, let's gather up together, get a free fidget spinner, and be part of, a flash mob maybe that, uh, has however many people show up. I'll break a record of X amount of people spinning a fidget. You know, um, Maybe let's just say 1,000 people show up. That'd be a record, and I could have it go viral, get the news out there. I have some connections and some news channels we could get out, and you know, uh, so the whole purpose of it would be obviously to have some sort of website and make it go viral, and so everybody's on that website then to go shop, and the video goes viral, and obviously the website is on there. Maybe some people with the shirts on, with the website on there as well, and in return, we just give out a bunch of fidgets, and people all at one time simultaneously spin the fidgets, and there you go. We have a record that shows how many fidgets were spun. So if you like that idea, let me know. If you think that's not a bad idea, we won't do it. And another thing I could try is Amazon FBA, which is selling products on Amazon and labeling it yourself and branding it yourself. And the third thing I was interested in is using Shopify for something, and I haven't done any one of these three. So I'm always looking into trying to, start something new. Once I have something running, I just get employees to run them, and that just goes on. So let me know which out of these three, which idea you guys think I should go with, if any. And also, if you have any questions about what I just went over, it should be very simple. Again, um, find a business, create a website, learn Google AdWords, create ads, find keywords that are optimized for those ads. Um, oh, and one more thing that is important. There's a website called spyfu.com. All right. So what this does is it makes your life easy. But again, if you're using a Google AdWords expert, and by the way, they're cheap. They're like, if you're starting fresh, some even do it for free for a week or so or a month or so just to get your business. And they'll charge you like $150 to $400 a month, depending on the type of sales you're getting, and depending on type of AdWords you're spending. I'm sorry. And so it shouldn't be much, and they'll be happy to go over it and look at it. And they use this right here. So a competitor of mine is Gazelle, and they do pretty well. Let's just type them in, and you can see roughly how much money they're paying monthly for AdWords. So you can see they're paying around $44,000 for AdWords. Okay, this tells you their competition. I might be one of them. Who knows? And yeah, so with this right here, what you could do is look at their paid keywords. Okay, I actually have an account with them as well. My guys go through them, but it actually tells you which ads that they've been displaying on different months, which have been working better for them. So let's just say you were looking for a construction company, right? So let's just say we used, I don't know, construction.com. Let's just hope that's a website. All right. And you can see construction bids, monthly cost $16,000, $18,000, $11,000. The list goes on. So you'll be able to click on it and then see what kind of ads and keywords they're using to run. And look, if you come down here, let's just say sage.com, you could see which version of their ad have they displayed multiple times throughout, So for example, this company here, okay, they've used the version 0 ad that many times. So that means that ad is doing pretty well. Version 4, version 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're just split testing those to see how they do, but version 0 right here is doing great. So you could copy and use that same ad for yourself. The good thing about Google is it'll give you an opportunity to display the ad, even if you're competing against big guys. And so there's a lot more to it. Each ad and each industry has its own cost. So like the AC, plumbing, and heating business, the cost is much higher for clicks per conversion. And so the good thing is, though, over time, there's a thing called where they kind of they rank your ads based on how many clicks you're getting, and so you could always show the better ads, and eventually you start saving more money, and the ads, Google gives you a discount over time if the ads keep running for a while. And so the same ad that maybe at one point, so I have one ad that costs literally around $400 when we first started. This was about a year ago, and it's now around 150. So that's a huge discount, and but that just takes time. You have to be patient and let it run through and do its course. So you could, but just be smart about it. You got to do some research. You have to read, self-educate yourself. You're not gonna learn this in school. I'll promise you that. And so every lead you generate, you then charge X amount. So 15% is a sweet spot for me. It's been working out great for me. And so my cousin, for example, on average, I'm estimating to do around, if things go well with him and he continues doing a good job, and the ads continue running, probably over $100,000 in just 1 year, maybe more. And sometimes it's seasonal too, so you have to be careful with that. Construction business, sometimes it falls off, sometimes, so you got to find the right industry that makes sense for you. Doctors, for example, lawyers, they're not going anywhere, and there's many lawyers out there that have zero knowledge about this. Actually, I'd say, because I know a lot of them, I deal with them all the time, and I'd say maybe 1% out of all the ones I know have any knowledge of how to use the internet properly with the AdWords, and generate leads and get the customers, and the whole 9 yards. They just don't have time for this. They're too busy in the field that they're in. So with all that being said, I think oh wow, I thought I was gonna wrap it up earlier before, but I ended up going a bit longer. But I think this should be it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please just post it down below. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And you could reach me on Reddit as well on Snipple215. And I'm just doing this to help you guys out. I don't care. I've been in your shoes. That's if you're, you know, you're struggling with trying to do something, and um, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or you just want to get out of that hole, and you're just trying to be uh, very careful. This is one of those things you could do. Instead of opening a retail store or going outside and buying a ton of products to sell, or no, this is something you could easily do, utilizing other people's skills to create the site, to create the AdWords, and you just simply collect a check in between for getting the leads. And I hope these few steps that I showed make it easier for you to understand. And um, yeah, that's that. Sorry, I guess this is one of I'm not used to making videos, and so talking out loud on this mic is just it's weird for me. So sorry about the pauses. Sorry about if I was jumping around too much, but I tried my best. And I gotta go get some sleep now because tomorrow's the first day of fasting, and I gotta go. Uh, Again, leave your comments down below, and I will take it from there. Good luck.